Nerd out here covering an Astralis Vertigo CT pistol setup that involves two sets of utility. Astralis first showed off this setup against Godsent. This was before the big Vertigo update. Device is going to peek ramp and get punished. Godsent execute on the A Bombsite, Molly sandbag, smoke right bomb, and a failed connector smoke. Zipex and Glaive nade off the beam to land default when Stiko is planning and kill him. Astralis has two smokes for retake if need be. Zen attempts to lurk but gets spotted by Glaive. Astralis knows that this means there's only two enemies on A if Zen is lurking, so they force the fights on the A Bombsite with their player advantage. Zipex headshots Crystal, Magisk kills Zen lurking, and then he gets the last kill on Michael Lately. Let's look at the players' POVs. Here's Device's POV. He's gonna go peek ramp. Unfortunately, he gets caught out by Madden. Zipex, the other A player, will have full utility, nade, smoke, flash. He's gonna go stay in connector early to listen if Godsent are coming up ramp, which he does here. Device dies, so Zipex waits for Glaive to come up connector so they can Nadestack default when Stiko begins to plant. As you can see, Godsent's gonna mess up their connector smoke, allowing them to see where the beam is in order to nade off of it. After nading, Zipex begins to spam the smoke, in which he finds Madden. Then, like I stated earlier before, they force the fights on the A bomb site because Zen was spotted lurking, and they have the man advantage on A site. So Zipex and dupreeh will rush Crystal and trade him out. I'm not going to show the last two kills here, not that important. I wanted to emphasize on the nades. Glaive is the other player with the nades. He starts off at B spotting bottom stairs. He's going to rotate over to connector when Device dies and then bomb was spotted. He will nade off the beam when Stiko plants. Then he goes to pick up flank and watches the lurk in which he spots Zen. When he spots Zen, he relays his information and his teammates quickly make the decision to push into sight with their player advantage. Like before, I'm going to go into the next POV since the remaining of the round is just basic kills. Magisk is the mid player. He's going to go sandbags. He rotates towards A when Device dies. When he gets towards A, he sees a crack in the smoke to try to abuse, in which he does spot Michael Lately Ivy. He holds Ivy when his teammates rush site because he spotted Michael Lately there earlier, then turns around and kills Zen lurking heaven, and gets the last kill on Michael Lately. dupreeh is the other B player with Glaive. He's going to hold around Ninja. He starts rotating to heaven when Device dies, and then he spams the smoke when he's in heaven. He rushes the bomb site when Zen was spotted lurking, and then he dies at Crystal, however Zipex gets the trade. In the next clip, Astralis plays Complexity. Magisk makes a mistake and uses his utility to stop the ramp rush and does a solo play. He goes to default and jumps on top of the box to peek Ivy. When he pops up, he sees 3 players and dies. Complexity knows Astralis does the nade stack on default, so you'll see Config fake the plant, and he moves away to bait out the nade. However, when he moves away from default, he no longer has cover, which leaves him vulnerable to being spammed. Device kills him. As a result, the bomb is down default. Complexity has to pick up the bomb and their smoke is fading. From here on out, it's a deathmatch and aim duels, which Astralis wins. Let's look at the POVs. Magisk has full utility. He goes mid and plays on top of the planks, waiting to nade through the window. Zipex spots many Complexity players, including bomb at ramp. Magisk rotates to connector, flashes through the window in case Complexity kept rushing to allow Zipex to fall back. Then he smokes and nades ramp. He pushes up towards default. He uses the ramp smoke as cover and hopes Complexity doesn't push through to allow him to jump on top of the boxes to peek Ivy, in which he has 3 Complexity players close that pop his head off. Zipex was double but couldn't help him because he was mollied off. Magisk shouldn't have made the solo play. Zipex spots ramp, sees a bunch of Complexity players rushing up, falls back double. Device was mid holding while Magisk has a nade out. dupreeh, Glaive B players with Glaive having full util. They peek bottom stairs. Everyone rotates when Zipex sees all those players. Glaive goes connector since he has full util, and dupreeh goes towards heaven side. Glaive will nade off the beam when he hears a plant. Device kills Config when Config fakes a plant and he tries to evade the nade. Then Device gets boosted on planks where he kills Poison and then gets traded out by Blame F. Bombs down on site and it's a 3v3. Zipex is low, so he lets his teammates take the majority of the peaks and they win the aim duels. I'm not going to show the rest of the round because Blame F sits at sandbags for the next 30 seconds. Astralis do win the round. In this next clip, Astralis is going to do the retake smokes after plant. They usually peek ramp early here, but they don't because they hear a bunch of G2 players rushing up and they fall back, and nade default when Kenny starts planting. Kenny doesn't die from nades because he plants in an off angle from default, however he does get spammed through smoke. It's very crucial that if you're doing this setup to spam the smoke when you hear the bomb plant and after the plant. You want to do it as the plant is happening in case the opposing team isn't planting default, which means they aren't behind cover, and spam after the plant if the player default doesn't die from nades. They will probably try to reposition and you can catch them through the smoke as they try to do so. Astralis will do retake smokes and smoke off bomb and ivy and will flash towards ivy before their players peek. The mistake here is that Glaive tries to stick it early here. I think he should tap it and then back up, and this will force the G2 players to rush, as you can see. Be careful because there's no kit available, so once you get 1 or 2 kills, someone needs to hold it and your teammates need to protect them at all costs. Astralis do lose a round, however it's a good setup. Let's look at the players' POVs. Here are Glaive's and Xyp9x's POVs. They are the 2 players with utility. Glaive is in CT spawn holding a flash for Magisk mid, while Xyp9x goes ramp. He hears a bunch of G2 players and was gonna nade off yellow, however decides not to and fall back connector where he and Glaive Nadestack default and Xyp9x spams the smoke. He gets Kenny who was able to get the plant off. Both players set up for retake smokes. Xyp9x smokes lands ivy and Glaive smoke lands on top of bomb. Glaive flashes towards ivy afterwards and his teammates clear right side. Then you'll see Glaive attempt to stick the defuse, however he gets off of it, and from here on out it's just aim duels around and inside the bomb smoke. Here are dupreeh and Magisk's POVs. dupreeh peeks stairs at B while Magisk is mid sandbags. Recall that Glaive is CT spawn with a flash for mid. Both will rotate when Xyp9x spots a lot of G2 players and bomb. Magisk will keep an eye on the lurk. Once the retake smokes and flash get thrown, both players storm the site. I think the mistake here made is dupreeh pushing up towards ivy when he doesn't need to. The smoke is deep and he can watch ivy from sight. Had dupreeh been on site helping out with the ramp players, I think Astralis wins this round. Magisk jumps on top of default and he gets owned. Here's Device's POV and he's the other A player with Xyp9x. Both fall back when they hear G2 rushing. Device will be spamming the smoke throughout the round, then when retaking he gets on top of double and Nexa gets the better of him. Astralis plays G2 again a couple days later. This time around Xyp9x and Device, the A players, don't hear G2 rushing ramp, so they're both posted on ramp to get some shots in before falling back. Both pick up a kill each, and Xyp9x uses his nade ramp which does damage to Nexa and Amanek. Device gets super aggro after falling back and peeks ivy. He gets punished for that. Xyp9x tries sneaking around G2 smoke to peek Nexa as he plants, and Amanek punishes him. Not a smart move from Xyp9x because he still has a smoke and flash on him. As Nexa is planning to the side, Glaive nades him off the beam and does a lot of damage. Then from here on out it's just aim duels. Astralis doesn't do anything special and they win the round. Against North, Astralis throws a spanner that works and plays Device sandbags. They never had any player sandbag before in their CT pistols. North doesn't molly or clear out sandbag, and as a result, Device will get 2 kills in the round. Also, the nade stack isn't timed, so the first nade throw by Xyp9x doesn't even get a chance to land on Cristo because Xyp9x spams the smoke and kills him after throwing the nade. He tried planting to the side to avoid nades, however that puts him open to being spammed. MSL is up next and gets owned by Magisk's nade, then Device kills him from sandbags. Easy cleanup by Astralis following. Lastly, I'm going to cover what happens if teams try to go towards the B bombsite with Astralis on their CT pistol. Since the new Vertigo update came out, NIP has been the only team that has gone B versus Astralis. Astralis has dupreeh watching bottom stairs, Glaive with full util will be on boost watching mid, while Magisk with full util starts towards the A bombsite with Device and Xyp9x, who are posted on ramp and ivy. Then Magisk comes back connector to help Glaive and Device rotates CT, leaving Xyp9x solo ramp as there's a lot of mid presence. NIP does a 4-1 B split, smoking off connector and CT, and 3 players get flashed in the site, while Plopsy lurks towards stairs. Astralis attempt to slow down the execute with their own utility, but it's not going to stop NIP from continuing. Glaive calls out to dupreeh that they need to take control of stairs and to give up site. That doesn't work out too well as both players die, however dupreeh gets a kill on Plopsky. Meanwhile, Magisk comes through the smoke connector and kills Twist mid. 3v3 retake and Astralis wins the round. In this pistol round versus Vitality in the older Vertigo, dupreeh will spot stairs and Glaive has a flash waiting for him to re-peek stairs, then smoke off Ninja. Although the map is changed, the concept is still there even in the new Vertigo. Glaive would come down from boost or flash from boost to allow dupreeh to re-peek, and then if he gets his chance to smoke off Ninja. In this round however, Alex's flash blinds dupreeh and then he gets killed. Glaive gets Alex, then falls to RPK. To wrap up, Astralis has a really good setup for their CT pistol and Vertigo. It utilizes two sets of utility. If teams go towards the A Bombsite, then Astralis have nades to set them up for an early kill, as well as smokes to retake. On B, they have a setup to allow dupreeh to re-peek stairs with a flash, and a smoke for a choke point. I like to see teams try to go more towards B on their pistols against Astralis, so I could analyze Astralis' setup on the B Bombsite in the future. If you liked the video, please upvote and subscribe. Check out this insane Astralis Vertigo CT ramp control that could set you up with an early kill. Till next time, Nard out here.